Hey, what's up you guys? My name's EJ Electric. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Electric Talks. This is episode number 3. I found an article that was shared to me by my friend on WhatsApp. This has something to do with cancel culture. Again, I've stated in the previous video that I don't think cancel culture is very healthy in our internet society, and I try to advocate for intelligent reactions and hashtag and toxic. Those are the two hashtags that I'm trying to push for in changing our mindsets into our attitude in what we post in the internet. Okay, so let's get to the issue. The issue is on a bar that is on Washington, D.C. on U Street. Its name is Barkada Wine Bar. Barkada in Filipino means a tight-knit group of friends. So let's say you and me and 3 other friends are a barkada. We are a circle and we are close and we hang out. I'm Filipino, by the way, so I know what this means, right? Let's try to unpack what the narrative of the social justice warriors who try to push for this agenda and try to push for this narrative. They seem to copy from 3 different sources: from the Washington City paper, from Barkada Wine Bar's website, the definition of the word Barkada, and from Eater DC. All right. So they all seem to copy and paste the 3 sources, and I don't understand why. If they're truly Filipino, they don't need to define that in the beginning. They're probably trying to get some sympathy from non-Filipinos, because most of these posts are from liberal Filipino Americans, I would assume from the radical left, because the nature of how they try to push for this narrative is very radical lefty. This is problematic on so many levels. Completely ignorant, and of course, a privileged thought process. What makes you think it's okay to take a word from another culture when you pay no respect or homage to the culture itself? No Filipino items on your menu, no Filipino flavors incorporated, no Filipino winemakers included, not even in your decor, no support going towards a non-profit benefiting Filipino Americans or back in the Philippines. It's apparent you didn't do any kind of research. Barkada is a very casual word. Why are you applying it to your fancy aesthetic of a restaurant? Filipinos drink beer plus liqueur and eat pulutan, not wine and cheese. To all you non-Filipinos watching, pulutan basically means any type of food that you eat when you're drinking. It could literally be anything. It could be pasta and we could still call it pulutan. Not to mention the Philippines was colonized by Spain, and so much of your wine menu is from there. I want you guys to take note of this. She is saying that you are culturally misappropriating the word barkada among Filipinos because Spain colonized the Philippines and that your menu is from Spain and not Filipino. Let me highlight that. She then closes by saying, absolutely wild that in our current social climate, you still think this is okay. Virtue signaling right there. Just because you think the Asian stereotype is that we stay silent and go along our way, doesn't mean that's the case now. Change your name, Barkada Wine Bar. The absolute CAUCASITY. Oh my god! It's like, I know that I read this a couple of hours ago, and I just reread this now, and it's just completely funny. And it's just so typical of what a social justice warrior is. My goodness! Alright, first of all, let me just backtrack a little bit by saying that just because you think the Asian stereotype is that we stay silent and go along our way, I've never heard of that stereotype. The Asian stereotype is similar to the Asian man who owns a liquor store who would fight you to the death and wouldn't care if you have a gun. I will fight you with my bat. Isn't that what the Asian stereotype is? Where is this type of Asian stereotype coming from? And it says the absolute CAUCASITY. My goodness, this word is honestly so cringy. We have to delete this word CAUCASITY. It doesn't even exist. It's again reverse racism. What liberal snowflakes only use this word when they try to pin down quote unquote white privilege that does not exist at all. Let's now go to the very core of the problem of this statement is. Now, I said in my previous video, and I still stand by it, I encourage activism. It is through activism that we highlight some of the things that none of us would notice in our daily lives, and it brings it into attention. But then it is up to us as a nation and as a peoples of the internet to investigate and to see and to exchange information and to participate in healthy discourse to find out the truth, right? Now, in this case, I am providing that kind of information, and not just in my opinion, but by facts. I don't think that there is privilege in naming a restaurant Barkada. First of all, the premise of this argument is based on zero. The word Barkada is actually Spanish. It is actually Spanish. If you just did your research for a little bit before getting all SJWE and snowflakey, type that word. The dictionary itself would say that Barkada came from the Spanish word barcada with the letter C, and it means boatload. This originated from Spanish rule in the Philippines 300 years ago, because we're in the archipelago. From that premise alone, this argument is completely obliterated and shouldn't be paid attention anymore. A privileged thought process. That, again, where is the privilege in naming a bar? There are so many other bars out there, or establishments, or restaurants that people have named nonsensically. They can name their bar whatever they want. It could be cutesy, and it's probably unfashionable, but so what? And then another argument that she says here, no Filipino winemakers included, not even in your decor. Again, so what? When has it ever been a law or a rule where the name of a restaurant or a bar is indicative of what they serve? Let's talk about restaurants. Panda Express, for example. That's an Asian establishment. You don't seem to be angry about that. They don't serve any pandas in there, nor are there any pandas in there. TGI Fridays, for example. They're open for the rest of the week. They're not just open on Friday. They're open on Mondays to Thursdays, and it would be on Audacity probably, or a CAUCASITY for them to open on the other days, because their brand name is TGI Fridays. They must not be so thankful that it's open on a Friday. And let's put that into perspective too. If you are a Filipino and you really care about Filipinos, you should have done the research that here in the Philippines, 88% of all restaurants are named after English and European names. Should we close those down? If we operate by your logic, should we close those down then? And America should be angry at us because we named those establishments the way they are? Like Yellow Cab? When we go to Yellow Cab, we serve noodles in there called Charlie Chan. That's very Asian. That's not very New Yorky. Should we castigate that then? And it's a beloved brand here in the Philippines. What about Goldilocks? You know what Goldilocks is? It's pasalubong. You get that all the time if you travel from the Philippines and bring it to America. Should we close that down because it's an American name? And by your logic, it is cultural misappropriation. Oh my goodness, we're misappropriating a beloved American story of a little girl and three bears. If you go to Yelp, you would see that they've invaded that space. Now, the Yelp page for Barkada Wine Bar is not reliable because social justice warriors have marred it with their political agenda and their identity politics that is so ideologically pathological. Again, the premise of this is just mostly non-facts and just mostly your feelings. This is where facts don't care about your feelings, and you're completely trumped by it. It is embarrassing for you to make this kind of claim without doing the research, and yet you virtue signal to the rest of your mob, and now your mob believes it because, just like you, they don't make the research themselves. And for you to say, absolutely wild, that in our current social climate, you still think this is okay. Oh my God, this is really virtue signaling right here. That's the problem with the social climate. You just keep on putting something out there in the internet without even researching about it, without even thinking about it. And all that is coming out of this is that you are highlighting you're being irresponsible. You are highlighting that you are irresponsible because you did not make the short time to research about something. You just had to create a mob and fuel your cancel culture, which is very, very toxic. It is wrong and it needs to be corrected. This is not an opinion. These are facts. To Jessica Millette, who is the source of this, and see, there you go. Your name is even Jessica. Isn't that a very Caucasian name? Should we castigate you for that? Or your parents about it? Because, oh my God, you're half Filipino. Half of your name should at least be Filipino. If we operate by your logic, then that must be it. And so my problem with all of this is that the Barkada wine bar have issued a statement, and they are actually giving in to this ridiculousness. They're actually changing it. And now they feel like they've won. Well, let me tell you, the nation, most of the people in the nation where we live in, the Filipinos that you think you are fighting for, are completely against your ideology, and you should be ashamed. To Anthony, to Nick, and Nate, and Sebastian, to the owners of Barkada Wine Bar, some of us have actually sent you an email, and we are saying more power to you. Please don't change the name. Don't give in to toxicity. Don't give in to cancel culture. Don't tolerate this kind of toxicity. It is wrong, and it will never be excusable. And toxic, you guys. And toxicity. Make intelligent reactions. This would have been very simple if you just made the time to do a little bit of research. You could even be lying down and just type that word on your phone and the definition of it, and you would now know that that is actually a Spanish word. You know, your argument just collapses on itself on your premise. There is no issue here. And even if it was, like, so what? That is the name of the restaurant. All right, I apologize for screaming a lot of that, but it's just completely ridiculous. And if you're Filipino American and you're listening to this, I'm not canceling your activism. I'm just correcting your ideology with facts. There is no problem with it. There is no problem with the name Barkada Wine Bar. It's not insidious. It is just you. Please, I implore you to self-evaluate and listen to the other side before you jump and join this mob, because honestly, it's so toxic and it's not right. Thank you for watching this episode of Electric Talks. Please comment down below. Let's have a healthy discourse. All right. I know I've expressed my opinion in there a little bit strongly, but so did you. And so did you. And now I invite you to an open dialogue. I always encourage healthy discourse. Let me hear your defense. If you are one of the people in this mob, tell me, and the thousands of Filipino who are talking now against this. All right. Thanks for watching this episode of Electric Talks. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you have a great day. And please comment us down below what you think of this cancel culture ridiculousness. Have a great day. Goodbye. If you like that video, please subscribe. And if you want to join the conversation, put it down in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you and tell us what you want us to talk about in the next episode.